Hello everybody, hi, I'm Rob at Old Style Classics Baseball Cards. Gonna do a special video response video this time, before I get to my regular videos. I know he said we could just do part of our regular video as the response, but I'm gonna do a specific response for John P. Collects Cards and his 500 subscriber giveaway. So congratulations on the 500 subscribers. If anyone would like to subscribe, leave some comments, or like my page, Old Style Classics Baseball Cards, I really appreciate it, to get the kind of videos out there to different people who might collect the kind of stuff that I do, which is a lot different than what a lot of people are collecting out there. But his VR is if you had like $10,000 and let's say you had to buy a card, you won the lottery and you got $10,000, you can either buy one card or like a combination of two cards or three cards. So I have three different options that I'm going to respond with, and a fourth one which would be a pipe dream, so not reality. The two first ones I'm going to do are just based on what's available on eBay right now, within about that price range. He said you can just be around 10,000, maybe a little under, maybe a little over. And then the third option is what I think the card would be worth, and I'll explain that at the time. So here we go. Congratulations, John P. Collects Cards. Once again, congratulations on your subscribers. Alright, so let's get to it. So I don't get a lot of views, so probably a lot of people know what I like. I like old style cards. They don't have to be old, but like old fashioned cards like Allen and Ginter, Gypsy Queen, Goodwin Champion, Topps 206. Because growing up I was always fascinated with the history of baseball, and I used to be fascinated with tobacco cards, but of course being a kid I could never afford one. Sorry about my voice, people. Been a little sick this last week. Been working out in the rain here in the Bay Area in California, out delivering stuff in the rain for 3 days, and so lost my voice a little bit. But anyhow, so I was always fascinated with the history of baseball since I was little, and I used to look at magazines and be fascinated with the old tobacco cards, which are readily available to see or even pick up at shops or card shows and stuff like that, eBay. But back in those days you'd have to like look at a book at the library or a magazine like Beckett or something like that, or papers, and so I was always fascinated with old cards and old players pre-war. Original Allen and Ginters, everything through the 1800s. I'm a Cubs fan, so I was always fascinated with the Chicago White Stockings, which are the Cubs. The White Sox stole their name when they started in the American League. Anyways, so like T206s and all that. But I've always, even though I'm a Cubs fan, I've always been fascinated with the old time players. I remember being in elementary school doing a book report on Babe Ruth, read about him, being in that semi-orphanage, playing baseball, and one of the brothers or priests taught him how to play. I love Babe Ruth, but the player I've always been fascinated with was Ty Cobb. I love Ty Cobb, and I would love to have a Ty Cobb baseball card from his early playing days, or definitely when he was playing, whether it's like a Colgan's disc, a caramel card, any of those I would love to have. But based on the VR and what's available right now in that price range for a single, Now, granted, I would love to have a Cracker Jack card. We know that's pretty much not going to happen for $10,000. Um, but aside from that, the card that I would choose that's available right now, I just like it. Um, and I have it on my phone here because don't know how to share my screen and look at that on there. And anyways, I'm using a webcam that's plugged into my laptop. So anyway, so on eBay right now they have this is a 1909 T206 Tops, excuse me, Ty Cobb Green Tigers um, PSA 2. Now I'm not normally into graded. As you can see right there, that's $9,900 for pretty much a low grade. But I know they have like the red back one, and this is only a 2. But I just, something about that green. I like the portrait images. You know, I'm a big fan of Allen and Ginter's, whether it's original Allen and Ginter's or Tops. But so I really dig the portrait style. I know like the off the shoulder bat and all that's great. I would love to have that as well. Any of those. Basically any Ty Cobb. But what's available right now for that price, I would go with the greenback. Of course, I would like a better version of it, but that's pretty well centered. I love that green. I love the portrait style, the old-fashioned uniform. I actually have a Ty Cobb collectible that came from back in these days, from like the 1910s to 14 or something like that. But I'm saving that for a video and we'll do about my Ty Cobb stuff that I have and like and all that. But in a response to your video challenge, I guess, is I would love to pick this up. This would be epic for me. So I love Ty Cobb. I love what a great player he was. I love that old uniform. I love the Detroit D. Yeah, so that one for me is epic. So that's just a Piedmont back, pretty bad. So obviously, if I could get a better version of it than this one for that price range, I would, even if it was as good a centered as this is. You know, if I can get one that was in a little brighter with the color here, maybe a little less damage and definitely a better back, but it was a little off-centered or something like that, or maybe a little creased or something, I would choose that over this one because of the damage. But for right now, doing this video today, that would be my choice for number one for a single card. So let me pause this and then I'll get back and show you my 2 card combination. Alright, thanks, I'm back. So I just have to switch in my watch list on eBay. So next, for my 2 cards, I'm going to go back to my favorite kind of cards, which is Allen and Ginter. I love Allen and Ginter, the original Allen and Ginters, all the oddball stuff they do, that they don't all have to be baseball. I love that Topps has carried on that tradition, even though some people do complain about, oh, I don't want that stuff with my baseball cards. I disagree. That's what Allen and Ginter's originally was. That's how cards started. Baseball was just a part of that set. Only 10 cards in the original Allen and Ginter. And I do have an original Allen and Ginter from the first set. FM Muldoon, a wrestler. But I definitely would love to get a baseball player. But as you can see, this is why I don't have one, because the prices are through the roof. I mean, there are some that are low quality that you can get, but still, I don't want to spend the type of money that they're asking. Now, this is going to be related to my Pipe Dream card that I know I would never be able to get, most likely, especially with this price limitation. And but I want an original Allen and Ginter card because I love Allen and Ginters, and I want to go right back to where baseball cards really started, like mass produced. So what they have out here right now is Charles Comisky for $8,300, and so that's just to buy it now. I'm not doing any bid ones, but make an offer is an option. So this is Charles Comisky, who of course owned the Chicago White Sox, not to be confused with the Chicago White Stockings. But this Charles Comisky, look at that. N28, 1887, Allen and Ginter original in a 7. That's unbelievable. And so I just want to have any baseball player from that, but Comisky is a well-known name, and you know, it's not perfect. You know, the cigarettes down here is a little faded out, but that's epic. That's what I love about baseball cards. I love tobacco minis. So that's $8,300 to get an original Allen and Ginter in that grade. That to me is epic. I guess they don't have the back, so that would be a bit. You know, I would have to reach out to the seller to find out more about that, because if you're going to sell a card for that much, obviously you should be showing the back of that card as well. I don't think they have anything else here. See, you know, so they have like this guy for $1,100. But nevertheless, that would be card number 1 that I would get in this lot. So now I'll move on to the next one. Alright, thank you, I'm back. So you saw that first card was about $8,300. So this would just push me a little over the $10,000, but it does have best offer. So I'd make an offer to bring it up to right around the $10,000 and everything like that. And that is also going to be an N28 Allen and Ginter. So I'm sticking with 2 cards from that original set. And this is the other non-baseball card that I would really, really, really love to have. And to be quite honest with you, I would almost be willing to buy this card right now, except I've spent a lot of money on some other stuff recently, so we'll see how all the overtime at work works out for me. But that would be the Miss Annie Oakley rifle shooter card. So there's Annie Oakley, one of the more popular people from the Allen and Ginter set, and I like that because that is not your typical mainstream sport, especially nowadays, although it was huge back then. And she's one of the most well-known people. I dig the West. I grew up in the West in Albuquerque, New Mexico. I live in California now. I like to shoot. Like the range when I go back to New Mexico. Annie Oakley's one of the greats. She's definitely a world champion, which is what Allen and Ginter's is all about. So Annie Oakley as an oddball, which I love oddball cards, is definitely all the baseball players, her, what is it, Buffalo Bill would be the top ones that I would love to pick up, and maybe one of the boxers. So this card, if it'll shrink back down. So the back's obviously not in great shape. There you can see your 10 baseball players there. But wouldn't be buying this card for the back. Alright. And there she is right there, Annie Oakley. And Buffalo Bill Cody, I think. And then there's the card I actually have is WML Muldoon. So that card, let's get out of here, is $800. So $800 best offer. Let's say I go in at about 700, somewhere in that range, and try to pick those two cards up for $10,000, and I would be over the moon because I would be going right back to where cards started, and that would just make me super happy to have pre-war. So my first two selections are both pre-war antique. I don't even want to call them vintage. I don't want to get them mixed up with 50s and 60s. So that would go right back to my love of not only baseball but trading cards in general. Alright, so I'm going to pause this and put the phone up. Alright, I'm back. Alright, so my next card is going to seem really, really odd to a lot of you folks out there. You can go back and watch some of my videos if you like to see about my Grail card or my White Whale for more modern cards. And it took me 18 years to pick up my White Whale, I call it, or my Grail card. And that is actually, so this may be odd to some people, but I love it, and I'll explain what that card is. But first I'm going to show you my Pipe Dream card, but it still has to do with Allen and Ginter. So first and foremost, Pipe Dream card for me of all times. So this is a 2006 first year Allen and Ginter from Topps sell sheet. And so the Pipe Dream card for me would be to have an original Allen and Ginter Cap Anson. Me being a Cubs fan, and that being the Cubs, the Chicago White Stockings from back then, an original Cap Anson card would be that would be my next Grail card. That and Ty Cobb, kind of like the one I showed you. So if I could ever get a Cap Anson card, even if it was chewed up by a dog almost, that would be like the ultimate gift for me. But his cards, like if you were to find that card in that condition, just based on what's on the front there, I'm sure it would be well over $10,000, because I seen one of those, some of those cards were like $90,000, but they didn't have any Cap Ansons on eBay right now that I noticed. But that would be my Pipe Dream card, so I know that for that kind of money I'd probably never be able to get that, but you never know. Alright, so moving on. Actually, I should have brought the card out, but I love Allen and Ginter from Topps as well. So, and I love Danica Patrick. And when this first set came out, I was fascinated with this card. I picked up her full-size card and the mini from the original 2006 Allen and Ginter. And then my Grail card was always to go after one of her 100. She has 101 autographs in 2006 Allen and Ginter. And they immediately, when this set came out and I found out about it, I wanted one, a mini framed autograph of hers. But they had immediately went up to like $300 and have never looked back since then. They've been up to $1,200 in recent years. They were for a long time around $600 to $800, and I just could never afford one. But I always wanted to pull one myself from a box, but you cannot get 2006 Allen and Ginter anymore. And if you can find one, I think boxes are going for a couple $1,000, and then you're not guaranteed to get anything. So finally this last year I found one somebody was auctioning on eBay. I won the auction, picked up my Grail card, and got her mini framed autograph from 2006. Now there's another one on there right now that somebody has graded, and that's like a 9, and they're selling it for $1,700. So that'll lead into my the card that I would want to get, my other single card. So I ended up also picking up a 2015 10th anniversary autograph from her. So she's got at least 201 autographs for Topps, Allen, and Ginter over the years, and I have 2 of them. But I want to get a third one, and the third one would be one of the box loaders. So they came with box loaders that year. They were the N43 style, or these postcards. But if you see here, they have Allen and Ginter personalized postcards. They have 15 players or personalities autographed a postcard from from their city with a special message from each of the one, and they're one-of-ones. So it says so anyways, it's talking about it here. So those one-of-ones, so that they did have like a postcards box loaders. So before your cabinet box loaders for Topps, Allen, and Ginter, they had the postcards or the N43s. Now there's a regular set of postcards, so I'm going to show you one of those first. And this one here is for Washington, D.C. that I picked up on eBay earlier this year. I actually picked up a lot of 6 of them. And this one is just for an example of what the postcard box loaders were like. That's Josh Gibson, famous Negro League player. And this is all facsimile. And it says, a homer a day will boost my pay, Josh. So you can get these still like on eBay. But they did come out with 15 of these, not of this card, but 15 postcards of different people that were personalized by the person and autographed, one-of-ones. And so now this is the little info sheet that came in the hobby box, written by Keith Oberman, talking about Allen and Ginter and what you can get in this set. And then it's got the full checklist on the back. But if you look right here, it has the Allen and Ginter personalized postcards. And you go down here, and these are the people that have a one-of-one postcard that they personally signed. So like I said, Danica Patrick has 100 mini framed autographs in 2006, 100 mini framed autographs in 2015, and she is one of the one-of-one personalized postcards. This card has never come up online. I don't think it's ever been pulled. If it has, whoever has it has not ever put it online, or it's not, there's no pictures of it. It's never been talked about. So I think it may be still sitting in a hobby box somewhere, or it's in somebody's personal collection and they just have never shown a picture of it. It's not online anywhere. It's nowhere to be seen. That's the card I want. Now, based on the prices of her 100 regular autograph cards, let's do an average. Let's say that's $1,000, like $1,000. I estimate this card, if it came up as her being one of the more popular ones from this 2006 set, that card could be up to $10,000. Now, maybe it could be more. Maybe it could be a little less. I don't know, but just based on the price of about $1,000, I figure this one-of-one's 10 times more valuable at least. So I'm just going based on what I believe that card would go for. Would it go for 10 grand? Probably not. It'd probably go for a little less. But I've only ever seen one of these personalized cards ever show up or even talked about online, or seen a picture of. And that, I don't know if that was just an image Topps had put out or somebody had pulled one early and showed it. But look, you got like Hulk Hogan, and you know, you got some good players in here, but some of them are just kind of never panned out. Like, let's say Clint Barnes, I got his autograph and relic card. But of these ones, you know, you get like maybe Hulk Hogan, Jenny Finch. Those might have some pretty good value. But a lot of people love Danica Patrick. I've always been fascinated with her card. I would love to even just see that card, more or less own it. So for me, if I had $10,000 to spend and this card popped up in an instant. So that may seem strange to some people, why somebody would pick a card that's only like 18 years old. But that's how fascinated I was with her mini framed autograph card. And if I got that card, then I would have at least over 1% of all the autographs she's ever did for Allen and Ginter. So just a moment. Alright, thank you. I just paused the video so I can run and grab my Danica Patrick mini framed 2006 autograph card. That card I chased for 18 years. I wanted to pull that myself, but then once you could no longer pick up any packs or blasters or anything, I was able to finally pick one up off of eBay. I actually got it for a good deal. I got it for the price they were going for about 4 or 5 years ago. But they're definitely $1,000, $1,200 nowadays, graded even more obviously. But I got a steal because the guy put it up for auction. Nobody else noticed it. I picked it up at the last minute and got it for a steal. So I always wanted to get that card in the purse, you know, out there in the wild myself, but that was a pipe dream, so I picked it up. I mean, a lot of guys, a lot of people like Danica Patrick. She's not just an athlete and kind of a trailblazer. She's really smart. She's inspiring. She's really well spoken. If you watch her videos on YouTube, she's a good interviewer. But obviously she was also a pop icon. You know, she put herself out there and GoDaddy and all that, and of course a lot of us guys like her, and she's good looking and all that. So I just thought that was the coolest card you know, at the time. And 2006 is one of the best sets baseball cards ever put out, and it was according to Beckett, the set of the year in 2006. And I've loved Allen and Ginter, not just right when I first seen them, because they were like the old cards that I wanted to have when I was a kid that couldn't afford, but it was like those cards with modern players, and I like that. So I like the old and I like the new, and when you combine the two together and they're like these minis, I just love that. So I would love to see that postcard card and to get one signed by her, that 101. Yep, I would drop that 10 grand that somebody gave me to do a shopping spree for a card in an instant, because I couldn't spend it on anything else, right? So some people might think that's crazy, but I'm a collector. I'm not an investor. I don't care, you know, if the card was half that value 5 years later. I wouldn't be stupid. I wouldn't want to be stupid about stuff. But, you know, that's what I want in my collection. So, that postcard of her, a Cap Anson would be ideal. A Ty Cobb would be ideal. And, you know, like a Cracker Jack, or that T206, or a Caramel. And then a couple of those original Allen and Ginters, especially having a baseball player in there. And Comisky Oakley, much like Danica. Not a baseball player, but definitely an icon of the era. Annie Oakley was as big a deal back then as she was 20 years ago. So that's my response. So John P. collects cards. I hope you enjoy my video. And if you're interested in the kind of stuff that I collect, which is this kind of stuff and other, I collect anything. I like pre-war. I like modern, but I prefer them to be old-fashioned. And I will do some vintage here and there. But I like collecting like the people that I've grown up watching. I'm a huge Andre Dawson collector, and a lot of my videos are based on picking stuff up of his, and just opening new stuff, picking up old stuff. And so I hope you enjoy Old Style Classics baseball cards video response for John P. Collects Cards. Hey, like your videos. Congratulations on 500. Hey, hopefully someday I'll reach 100. Alright, thanks for watching. Take care, bye.